brought her in here. She's going to tell you a lot about herself and her business and what an agronomist is. Okay? All right.
Hi guys, good morning. I'm Zara. I just down so we can just talk, not me talking to you. Okay? So I want a lot of interaction. I came with my brother, that's Shihabuddin. Fun fact, his first name and last name is the same. So I'm here to talk about really sustainability and share the tea with you guys. Really? I went to school in West Texas A&M. No, wait. First, let me start where I'm from. I'm from Kenya. That's why I brought Kenyan tea, and my shirt has stuff on it because I was born and raised in Kenya. I migrated here 8 years ago, and I went to school for agriculture. Why agriculture? Because a lot of people where I come from, a lot of girls where I come from, they don't go into agriculture, and they think about it as, why would I just want to be a farmer? Do you really need to go to school to be a farmer? Do we agree with that? Do you need to go to school to be a farmer?
Yes.
Yes or no?
No.
Put your hand up if no. Put your hand up if yes. Okay, so I have a master's degree in plant, soil, and environmental sciences, which is a master's in agriculture, or in one simple term, I'm an agronomist by profession, okay? So I said, okay, do I want to spend my life driving a tractor? I mean, farmers are pretty cool, but they don't really go out there and talk to people like you guys, right? So who's going to bridge the gap? Because do you guys agree there's a gap between where your food comes from and you guys? I mean, you just go to the store and pick it up, or you guys are super cool actually. You grow your own food. But then have you actually been to a farm to like know about farm operations? No, right? So do you agree that there's a gap? Like there's an in-between piece missing where information can be lost, or you just don't get one another, right? So I said, my goal is to bridge a gap, but I have to be creative. So the fastest way to get people's attention is through food. Food, literally.
Hands up in a second because I didn't tell them this. So I need for you to take notes, okay? Because in class we still have to give you a grade.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you a grade, and I need you to have really, really good notes. You're also going to use your notes later. So make sure that you get a lot of good information, okay?
If you hear something you like or something you think is important, write it down.
Or something you don't understand.
Very good.
So I felt the fastest way to get anybody's attention is through food. So I created a brand and called it Chai and Pie. Why Chai and Pie? Well, because I grew up drinking chai. Kenyan people drink a lot of chai. We are actually, in Kenya, we are among the best tea leaves, like best tea leaf importers in the whole world. So Kenyan tea is a big deal. You guys are drinking Kenyan tea. Yes.
Oh, is it chai?
Yes, that's chai in Kenya and everywhere else, and in America it's different. So here is just tea, but then we call it chai basically. And that's just I grew up calling it chai. We're here, we're connecting, we're eating. Why chai and pie? Chai and pie is to bridge a gap. The goal of chai and pie is not just to like give treats or sell treats. It's actually, let me organize my thoughts. Chai and Pie is an online pastry shop where I sell pastries and this tea so that I can draw people's attention, right? I said that. Okay. Bridging the gap is by teaching people with example. Like in Chai and Pie, wait, I'm gonna follow these guys. I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, so we're sharing the tea by bridging the gap because I want people to understand the importance of agricultural sciences. I want people to have like an appreciation of the cost of production for food. Because when we do understand that, we'll not be wasteful, right? You guys know, because you have your own garden here, are you going to be wasteful after you've put in all the effort to grow your food, harvest it, cook it? You know how much energy you've put into it, right? So you're consciously making a decision to eat some now, save some for later, because you don't need to eat everything all at one time, right? You know another word for that? It's called sustainability. So the simplest way to explain sustainability is use some now and save some for later, okay? My view as an agronomist on sustainability, I think everybody needs to do their part. Do you guys agree? Does everybody need to do their part? What does that mean? What does everybody needs to do their part mean? Does everybody need to go out and farm and grow their own food?
No.
Can we do that?
Yes.
Yes and no, but food takes a lot of time. It's like raising a baby. So what time are you gonna go to work if you're growing your own food? Anytime you want. So when you're at work and the pests eat your food, then what? Or the birds eat your food? I mean, birds are technically pests if they eat your food. Make some more?
And put like a little nut, like something to protect it.
That's cute. So just to keep things into perspective, it takes about 90 days for lettuce. This is like salad, basically, because we throw a lot of it, so I thought this is a good example. 90 days from seed to harvest, approximately, okay? I'm not getting into the types of salad and all of that. Just simple terms, 90 days, seed to harvest, okay? So that means a cup of salad will take about 3 gallons to grow. How much is 3 gallons of water? Yeah, but that's just for 1 cup of salad. See? And I'm getting all this information from the Water Education Foundation, so I'm not just like spitting out facts. I researched a lot of this stuff. So if it takes 3 gallons of water to grow 1 cup of salad, how much water does it take to grow all the salad that was thrown away? Is that sustainable? So, but is it rocket science? No, right? You just have to think about it. Okay, so what are the small steps I can take to not be wasteful of water and the food? Get it? Another thing that has not been considered in this, the amount of time the farmers spent going back and forth to the farm to make sure that the pests have not gotten into the crop, the amount of pesticide they've sprayed onto there, just the man hours, that's not counting all of that. It's just the water and the time for the plant to grow from seed to harvest, okay? Another interesting thing that I learned, the Environmental Agency Protection, the EPA, they reported that an average American family throws away $1,600 worth of food every year.
Ooh, can you say that fact again? That's something y'all need to write down.
So
I didn't even know that.
$1,600 worth of food is thrown away by an average American family. Are we the average American family?
How big is it? Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
What do you mean?
1,600.
What do you mean by average family?
Go ahead, that's a good question.
What do you mean by average family?
So an average family is like us, basically. We go to work, we earn a regular living, like we're not out of the box people. Out of the box, I mean like wealthy or homeless. Either way, so we're like the in-between people, basically. The people who go to the store, buy salad, I'm gonna eat it. Today I'm starting my diet, and then Saturday the salad looks a little wilted. This has, see, so it's 1,600 from an average American family, okay? Now, think about it like this. So at the end of the year, you just take away $1,600 and put it in the trash because, I mean, it's sat in the bank account so long. I can't use this anymore. Does that make sense? That's what we're doing though, guys. So how do we do better? How do we make things better? By doing our part, okay? We go out to eat, take a to-go box. It's appropriate to take your food home. Or share. You know, we go to some restaurants, the food is a lot, right? So, hey, let's split. I don't wanna eat all of it, but I'll share half with you. share, right? Because sustainability means some for now, some for later, right? So at Chai Pai, how am I sustainable at Chai Pai? First,
Few the portions.
okay, portion control is one. That's very good. That's a very good point. But specifically at Chai Pai, I sell all the pies by the dozen. So it's 12 pies, okay? I ship around America. But how do I ship? In a box? Yes. Where do I get my boxes? USPS. They're made from recycled material. Am I being sustainable? So I wrap the pies in a waxy paper. The waxy paper is made out of soybean. That's biodegradable. Am I being sustainable?
Yeah.
Did I force you to be sustainable? No, but I'm teaching you, right? There's a different way. Is it rocket science? No, I just had to think about it, right? Okay, another thing, my tea bags, okay? So obviously, you need tea bags to put your tea in. Easy way out. They're made out of corn husks. Corn husks are typically waste, but they're recycled, upcycled, and made into tea bags. So when you're done with your tea bag, yes,
Sorry to interrupt. Do you order the corn husk tea bags from a company that supplies them, or do you get them from
I get them online. Yes.
online?
Yeah.
That's great. Excellent. Very good.
I mean, I'll send Miss Kay the link so
Yeah.
you guys can have them too.
Yes.
Yes.
Wouldn't the food and like the drinks get old or something if you ship?
No. So I use I'm gonna explain it to you. So the pies are fully cooked, okay? There are a dozen pies. Small pies like the ones you're eating, okay? A dozen is 12 pies. They're wrapped in waxy paper that is made out of soybean. So when you throw it away, it's actually gonna break down. It's not gonna stay there until 20,000 years later, right? The tea bag will break down because it's made out of corn husk. Is corn husk biodegradable? Yes, right? So tea has a lot of nitrogen. If you stick the tea bag in your soil, what's gonna happen? It's gonna decompose, but what's the nitrogen gonna do to your plant? Fertilize it. So fertilizer it's not going to just directly go to the plant like, okay, there, fertilize. But it will supplement the nutrient in your soil, okay? So you see how there's different ways of being sustainable, but am I out there farming every day? No, right? I source all my ingredients locally, literally from the local market. I go to HEB, I go to Aldi. Everything is produced in Texas. That's my local market. That's me reducing my carbon footprint. Okay? So these are things that are not rocket science, but you really have to think about it. Make a conscious decision to change your world, because you cannot change the world. There's like 7 billion of us. Can you go to everybody, hey, you need to change your ways. This is not the right way to do it. Are they even gonna listen to you? No. But then, if you come to my house and everybody takes their shoes outside, are you gonna come to my house with your shoes on? No, right? Because you're gonna follow my rules. So this is my world, and you're buying Chai Pai from me. So from me, you will get biodegradable tea bags, you will get biodegradable waxy paper. So I'm not forcing it on you, but I'm encouraging it to you. This is my way of giving back. So at the moment, guys, while we're sharing the tea, what does sustainability mean to you? I want everybody to talk because we are sharing the tea.
Say some, eat some, don't say
To wait
some.
now and do later.
To do what?
To wait now. To wait now and do later.
To have some now and save some for later. I mean, you don't have to wait. What's the point then? Use it, but then let's not be wasteful. Like, eat with your stomach, not with your eyes. You know how, like, when we go to a buffet and we put a heap of food, are we really gonna eat all that? No? No. If you put a whole heap of food, like everything at one go, are you gonna eat all that? Yeah. Like, be very honest with yourself. That's part of sustainability, is to really understand the problem or to really understand the challenge in order to change it. But then the food is not going away, so you can always get some more, right? Okay, another person, sustainability.
I was about to say what you just said. That should eat some now, say something.
Yeah, eat some now, save some later. What else, guys?
How can we be sustainable at school? Like, how can we be sustainable at school? Think about it.
Oh, I got something.
Okay.
So when you at the cafeteria, if you don't want it, just try to give somebody that probably do want it.
Yeah, like if you're in the lunch line, one thing we did like last year and the year before is we had a whole thing to where kids would eat food, and if they were full and they had some leftover like lettuce leaves or beans or rice, they would put it in a little compost bucket, and we would take them and feed them to the chickens. So the chickens were eating like school beans that a kid didn't eat, or some lettuce leftovers, and chickens like that. And that went into the chickens being healthy, and they were producing really yummy tasting eggs that we would use in class. And so that's a way that we were sustainable in the school. How are we sustainable in the garden or here?
When you see that rotten stuff or this stuff that's not good, you
Where do you put it?
Where you put it? She just said it.
in a decomposer.
In the compost.
Because we've been doing a lot of talking with Miss Joanna about compost.
So
And the
guys, question.
chickpeas go
Plant
with
some seeds.
to the chickens.
I have a question. Is compost fertilizer?
No.
Trick question.
No.
It's supplement to, okay, I'm gonna let your partner talk about
Well,
this,
it's like
because
it's like
a
vitamins.
Now we
Yeah.
wanna hear what you guys say.
Yeah, it's like vitamins.
It's, yeah, basically vitamins are supplements. So that's really cool. I wanna know more about how you can be sustainable as yourself, not at school, not associated with anybody, just yourself.
When you go to the store and get some chips or something, and you maybe want to save some, but you want to eat it right now, you gotta eat some, then save some for later.
Okay, but do you need to, okay, chips doesn't really like expire. Like, let's talk about real
They can
food.
get stale.
I mean, they can get stale if you open them.
So, like some vegetables, like for example, like an apple. Let's say you want to eat an apple, but you don't want to eat it now. You want to eat it all. So, because you're not hungry, you would eat it and then let it rot.
Okay, that's a good point, yes.
Whenever you go to a supermarket and see those big signs that say, wow, 20% off, buy one, get one free, don't trust them. That's just the market trying to get
Everybody
you to buy
clap
stuff.
for him, guys. That is fantastic. So, buy what you need. Right now, the reason I came to talk to you guys don't grocery shop. You're not at capacity to grocery shop yet. But you will grow up to grocery shop. Is that correct? Yes? You will, at some point in your life, you will be responsible for your groceries and somebody's groceries. So if you know about this right now, are you more likely to make a conscious decision later on?
Yes.
Because you know better, right? Like, this is something that my intention is to talk to young people, because they are the future. By investing in you guys and putting my time in you guys, I don't have to change your world. I don't even have to change the world right now. But if I give you some information, even if you don't think about it now, but later on, next week, you'll be like, oh yeah, Zara came to our class and she talked about sustainability. Mama, you know what? We don't need to buy groceries for the next 2 weeks. The grocery store is not shutting down. There's no war, there's no famine, there's nothing. We can always come back here and get more groceries.
But some people got stuff to do. Nobody feel like going to the store every week.
That's
Get
true.
some groceries.
That is true. That is true. But that's part of choosing a lifestyle, like making a conscious decision of being sustainable. I mean, you have stuff to do, but then is your groceries gonna stay there till like next week?
It depends.
Yes, Miss K.
So I was gonna say, when I went to Europe to visit on vacation, the way they eat there is so much different than the way we eat here. So you go to Europe and they have tiny refrigerators and whatever, so you get what you're gonna get for that day or for the next day, and the family cooks and they eat together. But then they go out and it's a thing that everybody goes to the market together to get the things they need. So my family and our family in Greece does the same thing. We go to the market, or we walk to the market together, or we get the food that we need for the next day or whatever. So it is a conscious decision, but most of the world eats like that. It's just the United States, because we have so much, where we think, oh, we have a refrigerator, and then I have a refrigerator with a freezer, but I also have a freezer in my garage, and my parents have a refrigerator in their garage. And when you think about that, there's a lot of food that doesn't necessarily make sense all the time, unless you're like a hunter and you go out and get your food and you process it and put it in your freezer and you're eating it through the year. But other than that, there's not a big need just to go out and get all of that food. A lot of it, like she said, ends up where? In the trash. Yeah.
And also on the topic of sustainability, if you're going to the grocery store once a week, that's a really big carbon footprint. Do y'all know what a carbon footprint is?
No.
Have you heard about that? It's basically all this energy that you're using up, so your gas, right? That's a lot of gas going to the store. Guys at my table, I'm talking. We're going to the store once a week in our car, that's wasting a lot of gas, right? That's increasing your carbon footprint. So if you have a farmer's market, which they have them all over the city, and it's walkable from your house, maybe you can go get what you need once a week and walk to the market with your family and make it a family outing where you're not using as big of a carbon footprint and you're still getting the groceries you need just for that week. So there's different ways of thinking about where you get your food, and also getting your food locally from local farms is way more sustainable than getting food that was shipped from 1,000 miles away, which is what a lot of.
And also what you were saying, the markets in Europe are different. There's a market, a fresh market in every neighborhood. So it's different. They're not driving to the grocery store. They're actually walking to the market, and the farmers come and bring their food in there maybe once or twice a week. So it's a lot different than actually driving all over the place for your food.
So realistically speaking, he does have a point. Nobody has time to be going to the grocery store all the time. But then if you buy tomatoes for this week, next week, the lettuce for this week, next week, does it really last you that long? Is it really fresh for all that time? It's not. It's mushy by the end of next week. It's like, oh, this is gross, trash. So really, it's you have to decide, hey, I want to buy fresh food, and I'm buying XYZ to last me Sunday to Sunday. That's it. Just like planning ahead for stuff, your food is also a priority. Do you cook every day? Do you need to buy that many groceries? Yes, you had a question?
No, I was actually gonna say something.
Yes.
Whenever you buy stuff, mostly you get waste. So whenever I would buy something, I would use a recycling bin for those kind of reusable things.
Mm-hmm. How many of us recycle? Just basic things, you know?
I have recycling.
Messed up line.
I mean, at your house, you're supposed to recycle. You know how we have the little recycle bin and you just put the plastics and stuff?
Trash is trash.
Some neighborhoods do.
Some neighborhoods don't.
Whose neighborhood, who's in that y'all know, in your neighborhood or apartment complex or wherever you live, you know there's a recycle bin where you're supposed to put your recycling bin. Raise your hand. I know they do in my neighborhood. Some neighborhoods don't. My mother-in-law's neighborhood, they still don't have recycling.
We have recycle trash.
But here's the thing, guys, because we are growing up, we are going to be responsible for the new future. So we need to start thinking of, how can I do better as a person? How can I change the world? No, you cannot change the world. How can I change my world? If there's 7 billion of us and we are all thinking, how can I change my world? Then it's a little bit, and it adds up, right? If everybody's changing their own world, then we will change the world, right? And we're not trying to make it like better, but we're trying to make it cleaner and more sustainable, right? So, any more comments? Yes.
My parents use a lot, but like sometimes, like we're in the mood, I want to say for like steak or something.
Mhm.
Then we buy too much that there's no leftover, and then the next day we want something else, and then that leftover food is there for like 3 or 4 days, and then we ended up throwing away. And then I feel like we should just buy it for like that day.
Mhm. live, eat with your stomach, not with your eyes. Like, sometimes we buy a lot and like, oh, I'm gonna eat all this, but you're not. Because you're just buying it because you're hungry at that moment. So you're eating with your eyes and not with your stomach. So these are like a few changes that we can make. And I think the most important change to make is to learn. To learn about it. What's out there? How can I be better? And when you learn about it, is education useful if you just know about it and leave it alone? No, right? You have to implicate what you learn, right? For it to actually be useful. That's the meaning of learning. When you know about something and implicate it. So on the Chai Pie website, Ms. K will show you.
I'll show you, I was gonna put it.
I have scientists from around the world who will be donating an article every 2 weeks to talk about what sustainability means to them and the small steps that you can take to be sustainable. So far, yes.
I just, when you, sorry if this is interrupting, but when you said that we needed to improve, I also thought of how you shouldn't go, to buy stuff if you're hungry.
That's true. Don't go to the grocery store hungry, guys. Don't do it. It's a trap.
I wanted to say something because I think it's a very easy way to be a little more sustainable and piggyback on what Joanna was saying about carbon footprint. I want to ask you guys something. When you go to the grocery store, what do you take your groceries home in? Raise your hand, let me hear your voice. Yes. Plastic bags? Darius, what?
Oh, we bring our own bag.
You bring your own bags? Who else has an answer for how they bring their groceries home?
How do y'all bring?
By car, right? You know how I bring my groceries home? The same backpack I use for everything else. So, guys, we raise our hands so we can all hear each other's voices. If you have something to say, please, yeah, Darius.
How many times you got stopped by people thinking you were stealing?
What? Oh, stealing? Never. Never. I put my backpack in my shopping cart. I put all my groceries in my shopping cart. I go, I check out, I put them in my bag. So the plastic bags, why is using plastic bags every time you go to the grocery store not so sustainable? Yes, Jade?
Because plastic bags aren't biodegradable, so they just stay in the ocean.
Yeah, and then also what Joanna said about using energy in your carbon footprint, right? How do you think plastic bags are made? Raise your hand.
What did you say?
Yes, Kendall.
Because they make
Oil. Did you guys hear what Kendall said? And actually, I didn't know that for a long time, but he's right. Plastic is a byproduct of oil, right? Yeah. Plastic's a byproduct of oil. So all the plastic bags that we use every single time we go to the store is from oil. And it takes heat and energy to make those bags. So not only are you creating trash when you get plastic bags from the grocery store, but you're using energy, or you're supporting the use of energy to make those bags that are just gonna immediately be trashed when you're done with them. So that's a really easy way to be more sustainable, is just to bring your own bag, like Kadaria said.
Yes.
Yes, right here.
My mom always says that.
I couldn't hear what you said because he was talking.
My mom always says that.
Oh yeah? Saving bags is good. I just like reusable, really durable bags, like this one, or what, yeah, Joanna?
So, some of us probably don't have reusable bags, or right now don't have bags that we can take to the store, right? Because you have to buy those reusable bags, or you can use a bag that you already have. But if you happen to forget, which I do a lot of times, when I go to the store, I forget to bring my own bags even though I have them. So always, if you forget to bring your own bag, ask for paper and don't take the plastic bag. That's one small way of being more sustainable, because where does paper come from? And is it decomposable? Is it compostable? Yeah, right? So it's better always to use paper if you don't have your own bag. But it's the best to bring your own bag, because that's totally reducing waste.
Or if you go to Aldi's or other stores, ask for a box. They always have boxes. So
Cool.
ask for a box. And I brought a box. I didn't bring a paper bag, I brought a box because I use the same box when I'm going all the other places. And when I'm at home, I don't throw in my box, I just put all my stuff in one spot. It helps me keep me organized.
So I would say this, for Christmas, I was really big about this. So for Christmas, I gave everybody in my family that bought groceries, I went out and I got them reusable bags. And I told them, I've been using some of the same reusable bags for years. If I have one, like even kids, this was a bag that one of the students brought me because they know I use reusable bags. And they said, oh my gosh, this looks just like something you know, you love all those food puns. So they got me this reusable bag. So the reusable canvas bags are great because if they get dirty, you just throw them in the wash. The other recyclable bags that were used out of recycled plastic, at some stores like Whole Foods, you take them back and they will give you, if there's a tear, if you rip something, they will give you a whole new bag for free. So those same 10 bags that I bought for my sister, for my mother, for my mother-in-law, because they're the major shoppers in their family, they've been using the same ones for years because they would take the old ones, Whole Foods would take them back and recycle them and give them a brand new one. So that makes a difference. I personally like the canvas bags. And you think, well, I don't want to spend money on that. Thrift stores always have canvas bags and things like this sitting around when you do like beach bags and stuff like that. That's a beach bag that my sister gave me 4 years ago that I use. And you think, oh, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but a small investment that you know that goes for years and years and years is really, really important. And I started going to the grocery store, and I mean, my stomach almost turns every time when I go through and I see all those plastic bags, and they put it, they'll take something that's in plastic and put it in and say, oh, do you want to take that? I'm like, no. Some grocery stores now will put a sticker on food items like milk and stuff. If you don't want them in a thing, they'll put a sticker so they know, oh, you don't need a bag for that. Or if you buy a case of like tomatoes or something like that, they'll give it to you, put a sticker so the store knows that you bought it. But just exercising those small things makes a huge difference, because when you take one of plastic bags off for one person, you save so much. And you should see with those plastic bags and how they're working into our waterways, into like where it's not fair to all the animals that live in the ocean that are being choked to death by the plastic that we use because we want to be convenient. Okay, so you really, and I think we'll dive a little bit deeper into that another time, because I have some really crazy videos that will show you where there's turtles with like the plastic wraps around there, or they were dying because they were eating, thinking they were jellyfish, and they were eating the plastic, and then they die because it gets intertwined in their intestine. But that's all because we want to be convenient with 1,000 bags, and we can use 1 or 2 of these.
So I want to share something really cool with you guys. Even though I have my whole master's degree in agriculture, yada yada yada, I wear hijab. This is called hijab, the head cover, okay? So last summer, I went to New York, and there's a big hijab brand, Hot Hijab. So it's really pretty, and honestly, I just like their style. And they started doing a call for girls with natural hair. I have naturally curly hair, obviously I can't show you guys because hijab. But I said, oh, I want to do it. So I went to their office, their headquarters, and they checked out my hair, they did this little interview, and the designer who is doing the design for that hijab, and she's like sourcing the materials and stuff, she said, what do you do for a living? I said, well, this is my job, but then I have a master's degree in XYZ. She's like, I need your help. So I'm currently working with a company in India. This is so cool, guys, where they take orange peels and make them into a cloth, right? So the orange peels, banana peels, they call it silk. And she made me touch it. It's literally like silk, but it's not from silk protein, it's from recycled stuff. So it's not just farm to table, it's farm to fashion, yes.
If you wore that, would you like smell it?
No, it's literally like your everyday clothes. And do you guys shop H&M? Do you know what H&M is though? You know what H&M is, right? So H&M started this thing called H&M Conscious. So that's where some of their material comes from. It's literally made out of orange peels. Many times we just throw it away. But someone in Italy who is an artist decided, let me make material out of this, and it worked out. So there's so many ways to be creative about being sustainable.
I heard online that someone was using mycelium for mushrooms to make packaging.
Oh, I saw that.
There's like, yeah.
I have a friend who's using mushrooms to make furniture. Like he makes tables and he makes like all kinds of cool chairs, and he's an artist also, and he decided, you know, I'm gonna use this instead of using things that are not necessarily recyclable or not biodegradable, not organic. He uses mushrooms because they have a really strong texture. If y'all have ever felt a mushroom, they're really strong, and so he decided to make furniture, and that's what he's doing.
So to wrap it up, I'm gonna ask this question again. Do you need to go to school to be a farmer?
Yes.
Yes.
Because where does all this stuff come from?
Knowledge.
From the farm and being educated, right? So you actually do need to go to school to understand farming and agricultural sciences, right?
Can't you just like watch some shows or something about one?
I mean, one way to go about it.
You can, well, a lot of people are a lot of education is changing, because you've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube where you can learn different things. But I still feel like there's something really special about going to university where you come together with like minds, and you get to get together and you get to figure things out and talk to somebody, a real person, and pick their brains about stuff. So we started talking about sustainability, and now we're talking about how she's making made out of orange peels. That's something that we can't just go off onto by just looking on YouTube. So there is a good thing about the humans being a resource, coming together and having that human connection. You know, it's great the technology is going all up, but sometimes we just need to have that human connection and have tea and talk about things that are important, or things that we think that are important.
And you need someone to make the show. You can't just have people who don't have a proper background to give you information. It's literally like